Now we are going to investigate a firm's debt management ratios. So we're going to calculate a couple of ratios that measure how effectively a firm manages its debt. In other words, how effectively it manages its borrowed money that it receives from lenders. Here is DeLeon's balance sheets, its income statements, the other data that's available to us. So the first ratio that we calculate is debt to capital ratio, where we take a firm's total debt divided by its total invested capital. This ratio measures the percentage of the firm's capital provided by its debt holders. For some industries, this number can be high, and that's perfectly acceptable. But in other industries, it's not the case. So how do we calculate this, or what goes into the numerator, the denominator? Total debt is defined as the firm's notes payable and its long-term debt. So this is the firm's borrowings that they have to pay interest on. That's total debt. The denominator, total invested capital, is the total debt. That's, again, notes payable plus long-term debt. Plus, to get to total invested capital, we are going to add in total equity. So for DeLeon, its debt to capital ratio is about 26% in 2020. Times interest earned, TIE. This is just what it sounds like. How many times has the firm earned its interest payment? So in a particular accounting period, we're going to take its earnings before interest and taxes and then divide by the firm's interest expense. So for 2020, we see that DeLeon has earned it 5 times over. So let's do a combination analysis. We see that in 2018, the debt to total invested capital was about 44%, not too far off the industry average. In 2019, that shot up to over 73%. That is unheard of. And that is very scary because chances are, with such a high debt ratio, with so much borrowed money, the firm won't be able to pay it back. Once you hit a point of no return, you can borrow money and have it work for you, but there will be a point that you borrowed too much and you endanger the life of your firm because you can't service that debt. You can't pay it back. You can't pay the interest payment. And your creditors, your lenders, will not be very happy, and they could certainly force you into bankruptcy. But come 2020, DeLeon anticipates turning this all around and bringing that debt to capital ratio down to 26.39%. The times interest earned tells the same story. The industry average is over 6 times, earning that interest expense over 6 times out of its earnings before interest and taxes. 2018, wasn't all that great, but 2019, they couldn't pay it. We have a negative figure. This is very scary. This could certainly plunge this firm into bankruptcy. Apparently, this firm has reorganized. And if you go back and you look at the firm's balance sheets, you see that's exactly what they did. That the hope is to come out of this alive and to reduce their debt by issuing common stock, taking the proceeds from the stock, and they're giving up some control, taking the proceeds, paying down that debt. And hopefully they can emerge without having to declare bankruptcy and covering the interest on the remaining debt.